Hi, all. And yeah, I look like shit, but it was a rough night. Um, I'm honored that many of you have reached out to me and asked for my input as to what we do now, and I'll give you that in a moment. But first, let me say something. I'm seeing a lot of people posting things like it's going to be okay, or maybe things will be good for the next 4 years. And from my vantage point, I cannot say it's going to be okay. The American people have chosen a terrible man to be president of the United States, a position that has never had a lot of constraint on it legally and now has even less due to SCOTUS rulings and the Republicans taking the Senate. So there is nothing that says we're okay. And the outcome of the election indicates, at best, people say, I want to have cheaper groceries more than I care about human beings. And at worst is Americans revealing a heart that says, I don't want to be told I have to care about human beings. In fact, I kind of like being told it's okay to be hateful. And so to say, like, oh, it's all going to be okay, is to me moving a little bit into denial, because I woke up today thinking, okay, I'm riding my bike into work. So I'm going to have my head on a swivel, really be watching my mirror, because somebody may just decide they have the right today to run me down. That the darkness of their heart has been enlivened with permission by Trumpism. And it could be that they run me down and society says, well, that's tragic, but that person is one of those followers of woke Jesus rather than violent American conquering Jesus. And so I cannot give you the platitude of all things work together for good. We have been moving towards this dark moment, I think, in America for some time, and history has shown us that societies do at times devolve in this way. And the Bible showed it as the mercy of God to allow civilizations to crumble, to bring us back to a place of saying, oh, we really got into a space where we cared more about money than people. So that is where I am a bit today. And I'm actually a bit frozen because I feel like I'm not allowed to be angry or fearful or sad, because I have to manage other people's feelings. I have to stand up against the Trumpers who are going to be gloating. I don't want, the the people are saying, look at those liberals cry, that I have to be bigger and tell them, stand up against that. But I do want to say today is a day for good-hearted people to be sad. And I give yourself permission to be angry or sad, to cry, to do what you need, to not go into denial of managing other people's feelings or their view externally in. Allow yourself to feel. I am super angry at the guy across the street that has the Trump flag. I'm I'm super angry at people in my inner circle who I know voted against my safety. I'm super angry at the people I met on my recent journey across country who are such sweet people who had nothing but kindness when faced with me face to face, but voted in a way that now makes me feel in danger for existing. And I want to give myself permission to be angry and sad and to cry. Now, what do we do now? I believe things are going to start crumbling down. I feel like we're in a time like Jeremiah in the Bible where the prophets were all saying, make Israel great again. God, we're God's favorite country. Babylon will not take us over. And Jeremiah was standing there saying, oh no, we've forgotten the poor, the foreigner, the marginalized, and the economically disadvantaged. God will avenge himself against such a people. And Babylon is going to come and take us. Or Jesus when he pointed at the temple, the symbol of religious and political power of his people, and said, not one stone of that thing will stand on another. And so I feel like those are the natural journey of humanity in some ways. But the scary thing is those stones, when they start tumbling down, they land on innocent people. So the process of grieving, of crying and being sad and angry, is that we allow that processing of feelings to get us to the other side, to a resolve that says, I will fight to save as many as possible from having those stones tumble onto their head. And that may be even that we have to save some of those people who we're angry at for voting against our well-being, because they don't know it, but they're voting against their own well-being as well. Let that processing of that anger and fear, sadness, turn to a resolve that we will resist evil men, that we are from the cut of a people that says we do not bow down to tyrants, internal or external. And our brothers and sisters, our siblings around us, our queer community, our BIPOC friends who are all now more vulnerable than ever in the U.S., we must stand with and for one another when trucks come to haul families from their home to try to deport them. How are we going to protect the human beings inside those homes? This may be our time to decide who we really are. Is the fight of the American ideal the fight to have cheaper gas and cheaper milk and cheaper Diet Coke? Or is it truly the fight for the First Amendment, to be able to speak out as our heart tells us, to be able to worship as our heart tells us, to be able to say this that our government is doing is not right, and be able to say so without fear of going to prison? Those are things worth fighting for. Demanding that our government do whatever, moral or amoral, to make sure that eggs are cheaper is not what our founding fathers fought for, or at least not the ideal that we talk about them fighting for. So that's my process today. What do you think? Love to hear your thoughts. And to my queer family, I love you all. I will stand with you. To my BIPOC friends and neighbors, I love you, and I will stand with you in all I know how to do. I can't tell you that everything's going to be okay, because that would take me into denial and managing feelings. But I can tell you, this will bring a resolve for me to lock arms with you like I've never had before. And maybe that will help wake up some more Americans as well. All right, love to you all. Let me know if there's anything else I can do to help.